Where does inspiration come from? Where does innovation begin? Where does the future really start? Our story began in a dorm room in 1975 on a strip of paper. And from there, a vision was born. We designed technology to build, technology to grow, technology to learn, explore, and create. And we turned a world of possibility into a world of reality. But no journey is without obstacles, and our challenges only encouraged us to go further. This is a new chapter with new frontiers, new possibilities, new obstacles, and a renewed passion and vision to face them all.
It is our mission to empower every person and organization on the planet to achieve more.
Good morning, Morgan County. Woohoo! It's time for our Positive Podcast from the Morgan County Partnership with our hosts. I'm Mrs. Hott, the Morgan County Partnership's Positive Actions and Digital Media Facilitator. Today, our podcast is called Positive Actions for Intellectual Wellness, Encouraging Challenges and Problem Solving.
Hi, hola, es hora de acción positiva. Hi community, I am Mrs. Sheima, Morgan County Partnership Positive Actions and Digital Media Facilitator. Acciones positivas para bienestar intelectual, fomentar retos, solución de problemas.
Problemas. Oh, Miss Sheima has a guest with her today too in the studio. Who's with you, Miss Sheima?
It's Ithaca with me today. You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi, Ithaca. Hi, Ithaca. And we have a friend from the partnership we're going to introduce here just in a sec. You know what? Neighbors, the Morgan County Partnership joins you weekly for an exciting look at positive programs, news, and features to help build empathy, to foster core values, health, and family wellness in our homes, community, and around the world. Right, Ithaca? Around the world. All the way to Spain, right? What's next?
And whether you are 2 or 92, it's new Positive Podcast. We will feature fun and exciting information to help you balance life here in Morgan County to West Virginia and beyond.
Oh, that's so cool, Sheima, because Sheima, Ithaca is 2. Lacee, Ithaca's 2, right? And I'm almost 92. I'm probably closer than anyone here on the podcast. Well, neighbors, we are ready to discover a new positive core value each week and to help build a network of neighbors working together for our community, helping each other get through another day and with resources to connect each other and meet our basic needs. And neighbors, today, we're going to connect and help meet some needs for our wellness with challenges and problem solving, right? Are you ready, guys? Let's get started. Yay! Today's Positive Podcast is called Positive Actions for Intellectual Wellness, Encouraging Challenges and Problem Solving. Well, we've had lots of challenges in our world lately, I know. Neighbors, we want to thank you for listening, and we also want to remind that the podcast is also available on Positive Actions YouTube channel as well. So if you can't hear us, you can watch us on YouTube. Today, Miss Sheima and I will be chatting about intellectual wellness. I love that word. And neighbors, our 6-year-olds can say intellectual wellness. How about Miss Ithaca? Ithaca, can you say intellectual wellness?
Say intellectual wellness.
Yeah, look, she's trying. It's a mouthful. I love it. Today, Miss Sheima and I will be chatting about intellectual wellness. Miss Sheima, can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Sure, intellectual wellness is healthy choices for healthy brains. For our students, we talk about these values: curiosity, creativity, knowledge, talent, problem solving, memory. All are values that, when we exercise, help develop strong brains today in order to make healthy choices tomorrow. And for adults too.
That's right. We keep our brains healthy today and we exercise wellness. It helps us feel better tomorrow too. You're right. As our world has been so different, right, guys? So different due to the pandemic. It's extra important for us as a community to focus on our whole wellness, physical, intellectual, and emotional, right?
This year sure has been a challenge, or something that requires special effort. I have been challenged with work and positive actions this year.
Yeah, challenges. And look how great you're doing. You have a challenge. You're having your podcast recording with your 2-year-old at home. And you know what? I was reading on LinkedIn, there's a professional, and he had his infant on his lap. That's ironic that I just saw that today. And he said, gone to work today with my baby because he's home, he's working from home, and it's a challenge, right? And neighbors, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it's a challenge. And our guest today, Miss Lacee from the partnership, you have toddlers at home as well. Now, I'm a little older than you guys, so my toddler just turned 16, and I'm glad he's not sitting on my lap, right? But it's a challenge to do this from home, and we just have fun with it. And I think it's cool. And what I saw on LinkedIn, what's really cool is it makes our professional life seem real, and we show our neighbors in our community that, hey, we're all struggling to get through this with everything at home as well, right? That's cool. I have to send you that link because he had, I was so inspired to see his baby there. And he was talking about professionalism in the workplace. And I know my son-in-law, Brian, he works from home and they don't have a toddler yet, but they do have a puppy in the house. And, you know, it's balancing it all, isn't it? And sometimes I get really frustrated and neighbors, well, you know what? I'll just segue right into this because sometimes I know it can be hard to balance it all. And that hardness, it can be a challenge, right? And that's why, neighbors, I wanted to have Lacee Kidwell from the partnership. She's a social worker at Widmeyer and the school therapist there. But Lacee also is, she also instructs our yoga and our self-help classes for wellness. And I was thinking, you know, because we're all faced with these challenges, right? And whether you're a mom or working at home or a professional, like I saw on LinkedIn with your baby in your lap, it can get frustrating and it's a challenge, right? So neighbors, we're going to talk about a program. We're going to talk about wellness for educators and for professionals. And Lacee's going to help us get through these challenges with wellness for our intellectual wellness, healthy brains, healthy emotions, healthy bodies. Lacee, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Hi, Lacee. We're going to roll right into this. Positive actions for intellectual wellness. Encouraging challenges. And when we're challenged, what can we do to help us stay well and healthy? Because every day's a challenge, right, guys? Let's get started. Lacee, like I said, is a social worker from the partnership. Lacee, can you share with us a little bit about yourself, where you're from and what you do, okay? And then we have some questions to ask you about balancing and how to stay well. All right, go ahead, Lacee. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Lacee. I am the school therapist here at Widmeyer Elementary. I started with the partnership about a year ago, and it's been a challenging year this year, to say the least. I've had to learn a lot and transition a lot of different times, but it's been really rewarding, and it's been a lot of a great learning experience. I have 2 kids, 8 and 2, and then I'm expecting my 3rd in May. I work from home and school, so that's been a challenging transition this year to try to do a little bit of both. I've been a therapist for 2 years now and primarily been working with children and family since I started on my therapy career. I have my husband and we have 2 dogs at home as well. That's also been a challenge, the 2 dogs, taking care of them at home with the 2 kids. but it's been a good learning experience, and I've learned a lot about keeping myself well and my family well to get through all of these changes and challenges we've been going through together. So I hope that I can share some of that with you all, and that it helps you at home and at work as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Lacee. And you said, and listening to you, it's like we're all in this boat, balancing this all at home, and you've learned from it. I like that you shared that, because I have too. I've learned, because sometimes I feel, I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, and I have to go, and sort of step back out and of all of the challenges out there because of the pandemic and all this new stuff. And it really takes some positive actions to get through it. Can you share with us, are there some positive actions that helped you learn how to balance this all? Because, oh my goodness, I can't imagine expecting a baby during all of this. And all, wow.
A big one has been community. Even though, I don't get to see people as much as I'd like, or be in close contact with them like I was before, I do have a lot of people that I can lean on in my community. You guys at the partnership, I have, supervisors I've had elsewhere for therapy that have been a support, my family, my friends, my church, my kids' sports activities. Like, there's a lot of people that have been a big support virtually, which has been helpful. And we've all, had to kind of work around that to see what we could do not in person, because we took that for granted for sure. I think we all have. But community is a big one. Wellness. I've relied on my wellness a lot to get through the pandemic and the changes, and keeping myself and my family healthy so we can support each other. Having patience. It's been difficult because I've never been a very patient person, but I've learned a lot and how to do that a little easier at times. And then creativity has been a big one for me. Being creative with telehealth and virtual therapy, and being creative at home to kind of ease some of that stress and relax. Art and different things have been a big help to me and my kids, for us to get some creativity out and feel better and create something that makes us happy, even when it's been hard and we've been stuck at home and haven't been able to go out and do the things that we like to do together. So those have been really big ones for me.
You know what? I want to interject here, because when you say creativity, two things about that. And how about you, Sheima? We've had to be real creative just in our partnership programs for prevention and wellness, and it's been kind of cool, actually. And sometimes I know initially I got stressed thinking, how are we going to do this when we can't go to the school? And now we're just starting to integrate gradually back into the school. The kids are coming back, but we did take a turn and we got creative, didn't we? And the outcome, it's been kind of fun. How about you, Sheima? I mean, what do you think? I mean, doing the videos and stuff and trying to reach kids in a virtual way over the last almost year, we've had to learn a lot of new things. Sometimes I get frustrated because I don't understand the technology, but I don't think I would have been in the same creative zone if I was still going in all the time. And community, what about that? I mean, when you brought that up, right? I think that when I feel most stressed, I'm missing the people, but we had to be creative to keep those connections with things like we're doing now, like a podcast. That's cool. Oh, and the second thing, I put my fingers up so I wouldn't forget. Miss Lacee is doing this really cool thing called doodle art, neighbors. So just a couple weeks ago, with the value word of the week, she's got, and then, you know what, that's really cool, because she sends those files for the Positive Action virtual lessons with doodle art. And check it out. It's just a simple thing, but when I print it off, or I just doodle and sketch and color, it really is helpful. And I don't know, did you see them too, Miss Sheima? You find these really interesting quotes that are inspiring, Lacee. I don't know where you get them from, but it's really cool and it's creative. But the quotes are calming and they're good for your intellectual wellness. And then when you doodle along with it, that, I guess that's, as a therapist, those are the things that you know about, and it's a creative way to help us as a community. So thanks for sharing those with us as a community, something as fun as doodle art. So
Welcome. I've enjoyed doing that.
that's really cool. And neighbors, if you're looking where to find that, if you go on positivevaluesnetwork.com, Lacee's doodle arts are in the materials, and they're all there with each value word. So let me ask you this question next. Being a therapist, how does that come about? Tell the neighbors a little bit about your background or training and education to be a therapist.
Sure. Well, I actually originally went to school for criminal justice. That's what my bachelor's degree is in. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with that, but I was fascinated with that field. So after graduating with my bachelor's degree, I got a job at a residential facility for teenage girls that were there for different things, different barriers, different choices they had made. And there I did a little bit of supportive counseling. So therapy on a less intensive level, but I did get some experience with counseling and had the opportunity from there to go to school for my master's degree in clinical counseling at Marshall University. So I began to be interested in counseling there, and then was presented with an opportunity to get my master's degree. So I went on and got that. And I'm glad I was presented with that opportunity because it turned out to be the field for me. And I'm very passionate about it. And I'm glad I was able to come back to my community where I'm from to work in the schools and be a part of the community, because that was my ultimate goal in some way, to come back here and work. I just wasn't sure how that was going to look. So it turned out to be a really neat thing. And now I'm working on my professional counseling license. I am provisionally licensed. So in the next year or two, hopefully I'll have everything complete to be a fully licensed counselor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. And did you say Marshall? Is that where you got your master's degree? Okay. Yep. Wow. Oh my goodness. You know what, Sheima, aren't we lucky that she came back and she's back in our community with all of this experience and all of this knowledge? That's the word we're talking about in the lessons this week. And as you did all of that, what next? This is a new question. What challenges came up along the way? I mean, like I know you had a baby, you got married, and
so a lot of life events happened. Soon after I graduated, I got married and had my daughter. And then I inherited a bonus daughter who's 8. So that was trying to balance, being a mom and working and going to school and continuing my therapy training and getting my hours and being supervised and stuff. Definitely has been a challenge. And I've learned a lot in the pandemic in a different way than I thought I would. I never thought I would do telehealth, virtual therapy or like that, because I like the in-person and I like to be with someone face-to-face working with them. But I've actually turned out liking it, and it's been a good challenge to learn how to do different things to keep people engaged and interacting, even though we're virtual, because I'm sure it's not fun for my clients at times either. They'd rather us be in person too. So those are a couple of the challenges I've been faced with over the time I've become a therapist, as well as currently.
Nice. Wow. And did you ever, because I think, well, if I was in my 20s, I was 25 and I had my first baby, and balancing all of this at the same time. And now I have teenagers and college students, and they're in school trying to balance it all. And it does get frustrating, but I wonder myself, and we have Sheima, we can, I'm hearing about challenges, and Sheima, I know doing a recording with your toddler, that's a challenge too. I wonder how I would be, if my toddlers were here, and when they were little, we had different kinds of challenges. I mean, there were things going on. I was a substitute teacher, and I was working from home and helping my husband with his company. And then he had a situation where he had to close his company, and it was such a challenge. And sometimes you think, I'm done. You know what I mean? Have you ever been to a point, and I want to think about all three of us here with Sheima and Miss Lacee. Do you ever get to that day where it's like, I don't want to do this today. I don't,
Definitely.
Okay. You too, Sheima. Yeah. So when it's that day, okay, neighbors, and how about you guys? Think about those days when you go, this is too much of a challenge. Okay. Sometimes my shoulders just aren't big enough to balance it all out. So what positive actions, when it's that day, what should we do? Can you be our therapist? What do we
Sure.
do? What do we do, neighbors? Let's ask Miss Lacee. She's got a lot of skills and great creative ideas. When it's that day, and maybe you've turned the news on and you don't like what you're hearing, or maybe you came home and you tried to get the vaccine. I've heard about a lot of people who waited in line for so long. Oh, I know this. I have a friend in Florida who's with Parkinson's and got the call, scheduled the appointment, got there, waited in line for hours and got turned away. And she got her shot the next day. But when we're at those kinds of days, when those challenges are just like, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Help.
I always like to encourage people, and I do this myself, is start with one small thing. What's one small thing that you either need to do or want to do? Of course, taking care of yourself first. So whatever is going to make you feel good and fill your cup back up, because we can't pour from an empty cup. And I'm sure you guys have heard that before. And it's sometimes a difficult thing to remember, especially as a mom or, someone who's working during the pandemic, taking care of children. You can't pour from an empty cup. So doing something, even if it's something small, to kind of recharge you a little bit, and just finishing a small task, just getting that one little thing out of the way. And hopefully that'll encourage you and make you feel a little bit better to be able to do more. But at the same time, some days just doing the minimum's okay. We all deserve a break. And I think that we all put a lot of stress on ourselves, especially during the pandemic. So there's a lot of things out of our control. Like you said, with people trying to get vaccinated, that's been a stressor for people I know. So just starting with one small thing that you can do and you can control, and trying to remember to keep in mind some things are out of our control, but what can we do to help the situation, or what can we do that we can control to make ourselves feel a little bit better?
One thing. Okay, I want to be specific. And
sure.
What if you can't think of something to do? What if, what would be one thing? What's a suggestion? I have an idea.
For me, sometimes it's even just making my bed, or taking my dogs out for a walk, or doing the dishes that have piled up that I, am tired of looking at, but don't really want to do. Because odds are when you do those little things, you'll start to feel a little bit better, even if it's something you don't really want to do. But if you just look at one little thing and knock that out of the way, it'll hopefully encourage you to do more. And even if it is, you don't want to do anything after that, that's okay. You still did that one thing, and it's more than you had done earlier in the day, or maybe even in the week. So even just starting on that small of a scale, it sounds simple and silly, but it can change your outlook and make you feel better.
Making your bed.
Yes.
Wow. That's one thing. I was thinking of something specific. So sometimes just the one thing is just the next thing, and giving yourself, here, you did it.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Right? One thing. How about for you, Sheima? What's the one thing when you've got all these challenges? What's that one thing for you that helps?
It is hard to think, because we were talking about that, and I get so nervous and anxious. So I'm like, better you do. I can't handle, like, sometimes when Itakashi had like a meltdown and she's crying because she wants something, I'm like, I try to be like the positive mom, don't scream, don't yell, and if I can, I call Pedro. I'm like, Pedro, you have more patience, can you handle this? So he's with her, and then I do dishes or something like that, or make dinner. Good. But for me, it's more being the positive mom that I want to be. And sometimes I can't, because it's just like all day I am like managing all these crazy emotions in a positive way. And like at 8 in the night, she needs to take a bath and go sleep. And she's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, just do it. So I'm like, okay, just breathe. She's learning to be positive. Okay, Sheima, she's learning the emotions. So I just call Pedro. That's what I do. Call Pedro. Yeah, it is hard to be positive all the time, to manage emotions in a positive way. And sometimes I told Pedro, like, I want to yell, like, just go to the bed. But no, so I just count to 5 and call Pedro. Because then I don't want to be mad with myself, like, oh, I yelled and then I feel bad and then she's gonna be crying. So I don't want to do that. So I just call Pedro.
So asking someone that's a great tip. That's a great tip. So Lacee, you just doing the next thing and thinking of the smaller thing, and then when you get to the challenges is too much, when you just turn around and you ask for somebody and you go,
yes, definitely.
Okay, those are great positive actions. I was thinking sometimes, things build up in their house, but for me, sometimes it's like almost every night in the middle of the night. It's usually like in the 3 o'clock hour. For me, I wake up and nobody, I don't want to wake up Dan because the boys are asleep, but it's at that time when I'm feeling like, because it's hard to be positive. I get that balancing it. I feel that's my responsibility to keep everybody through this and make sure everybody's got what they need, So at 3 a.m, I'm going, what am I going to do now? And a lot of times, I'll be honest, I'm waking up because I'll be 56, so I'm having a moment. The hormones are like, what? I'm having a hot flash. I'll just put it out there, and that's when I go, I don't know if this I don't want to do it tomorrow. But my positive action, I guess, to share is almost all the time I'll get up and I'll get a drink of water, because I've convinced myself I believe I'm going to feel better when I have a drink of water, and I guess. It does. It refreshes me, and that walk out to the kitchen, I just get a drink of water. So sometimes during the day, I'm like, oh no, I need a drink of water right now, and I know water helps, and I believe that we all need to drink a lot of water for our own health, our physical health. Water is important for that. I know, I can't think of how much, but we need a lot of water every day. But so I'll do that too, a drink of water. So those are great tips, neighbors. Lacee, do the next thing. Maybe make your bed. That's a great idea. And Sheima, call Pedro. Or maybe I'll call Pedro at 3 o'clock. Pedro, but ask for help, right? And sometimes just get a drink of water when the challenges are great. And your community.
With that, getting a drink of water, that's something I do too. And actually,
really?
I do that for my toddler too when she's upset. I give her a drink of water, cold water. So Sheima, you want to try that? Because she'll be upset and crying, and I'll get her a cup of water and it calms her. So that's another little tip for toddlers too. It works for us, it works for them.
Thank you. Oh, Lacee, that's great. Tips for toddlers. And Sheima tells us every week, whether you're 2 or 92, right?
Exactly.
If I were 52, it would rhyme, but I'll be 56. But a drink of water. Hey, that's a good thing to know. All right. Wow, you guys, I feel better just chatting.
Definitely.
I'm starting my challenges. I feel like I've got you girls right here with me to help me get through. Yeah.
And another thing is just now talking with Lacee too, I'm not feeling alone. I'm not feeling like the only crazy mom that she can't handle all the time emotions in a positive way. Because sometimes I'm a terrible mom. I explode some days. And now with talking with you, I feel like, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. So sharing how we feel, it's great. Thank you, Lacee.
Yes, there's days where I'm telling my husband, Brandon, you have to take her. I need to go for a walk. I need to go to the other room. I can't. And that's okay. It's better to do that than, like you said, us get angry and yell and them get upset, and then we're going to feel bad. And yeah.
Right.
It's a good way to handle it.
Well, next, you guys. Yes, absolutely. If it's not the middle of the night, sometimes I do take that walk, Lacee. Sometimes I just go stand on the porch, or whatever, right? And next, I want to share something that what you can do. Okay, if you can't reach someone right away or you can't chat with us. Lacee is working on a new program. It's wellness for educators and good for professionals. But and I want to talk about that, and I want to see if you could give us a little sample. So if you're a teacher or a professional, coming up soon, Lacee has Educator Wellness, and can you tell us a little bit about what it's about and what we can expect, Lacee?
Sure. Well, I'm going to touch on 3 different areas of wellness: occupational, physical, and emotional. and dive in a little deeper on those three components of wellness and how, you can do things in each of those three areas to make yourself feel better and to feel like you're doing your job, well, and to feel better. And not just like you're just surviving during this difficult time, because I'm sure there's many times where we all feel that way in some way. So it'll give you an opportunity to gain some tools to use, even in the classroom with your students. A lot of these things can be geared for and included with them. So if there's a time where, you're stressed, maybe some of your students are stressed or having a difficult day, you can do this together. So it's not just for educators on their own. It can be used with the students and kind of geared towards their age group, whatever their needs are, really. And this series will actually help you determine what your needs are too, because sometimes we feel overwhelmed and like it's all weighing on us. Where do we even start? So this will help you realize, okay, these are the main issues right now for me. This is what I really want to focus on and go from there.
That's cool. Can you give us a little sample of like what will be on the series? And neighbors, I want to let you know this, Miss Lacee, for the partnership, we did a desktop yoga series for like in the classroom, just stretches that help you feel better. And I tell you what, guys, Lacee is full of resources. In the summertime, it was the greatest Positive Yoga for Kids program. And that's available on our YouTube channel, where Lacee does some real simple things. So there's all kinds of wellness things that the partnership provides for our wellness and prevention programs, because we really want to have a place for the community to go when they're, before things get negative, right? So, okay, these are some things you can do. So, so just look at, there are playlists with that on our Positive Actions YouTube, but for the new Educator Wellness, we wanted to share with you so you can hear now, if you get to that point, this is a little bit an exercise Lacee's going to share about what can help us feel better before we get to a point where we do something we regret, right? And it helps, something that will help us also be better moms and be stronger and healthy for our families during this challenging time. It all comes back to, boy, this is the biggest challenge I've ever faced, living in a pandemic, and I'm sure everybody too. So, and guys, I know, I'm not sure if we're going to run out of time. Miss Lacee, if we do, we'll back on the line and finish up. But can you tell us a little bit about a sample and let us listen to that? Okay.
Sure. So I have a little bit of a mindfulness for your emotional wellness activity, and it's called Tense and Release. So if you just want to get comfortable wherever you're seated, if you're listening at home, you could, lie down, whatever you feel comfortable doing. You can keep your eyes open or keep your eyes closed. Take in a deep breath and take a deep breath out. You want to think of it as if you're falling asleep, letting go of all your thoughts, just feeling your breath. I'm going to take you through a progressive muscle relaxation. When I call out a body part and say inhale, you will tighten only that body part. When I say exhale, you will relax that body part. So begin with feet and only your feet. Inhale, tighten your feet and only your feet. Now exhale, release, and let go. Now bring your awareness to your legs, your shins, your calves, your thighs, and your hamstrings. Inhale and tighten your legs. Exhale, release, and let go. Now you want to bring your awareness to your bottom, your lower belly, and your back. Inhaling and tightening those areas. And exhaling, release, and let go. Now bring your awareness to your upper chest, your upper back, between your shoulder blades and your shoulders. Inhale and tighten those muscles. Exhale and release. Now bring your awareness to your arms, your forearms, and your biceps. Inhaling while you tighten your arms. Exhale and release. Now bring your awareness to your hands, making 2 tight fists. Inhaling and tightening. Exhale and release. Bring your awareness next to your face. You want to pucker up your face, your eyes, your nose, your lips. Inhale and tighten. Exhale and release. Now bring your awareness to your entire body. Inhale and tighten your entire body. Exhale and release. Stay with that release and take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, maybe get some wiggles out, and come back to the now. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I always feel really good in my muscles after doing that.
You know what? You said something about your cup. Everybody needs, how did you say that, Lacey? My cup feels more full.
Good. Awesome.
Wow. Huh. Thank you. How about
Thank
you?
you.
Sheima? How do you feel?
Great. I was doing it with while Ithaca she was here, and I feel great. It's so good. Thank you, Lacey.
Wow. Thank you. Neighbors, remember that these simple things, that took all of like 3 minutes. And I'm ready. I'm ready to go face my challenges. Neighbors, are you ready? Lacey, are you ready? Thanks for joining us today. We'll get ready and sign off. That was amazing. Let's get ready and face our challenges. Sheima, you ready to close?
Ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sure
Lacey.
thing.
That was awesome. Thank you, neighbors. Thank you all for joining us today. Neighbors from 2 to 92, young and old, it's been fun podcasting with you today. We hope you find some positive actions out in the world this week. Bye.
And we hope your cup is filled, neighbors. We really do. Thank you, Lacey, for helping us to fill our cup.